What's going on, guys? It's Big Jeff here, and I am here with Cindy G doing our review for WrestleMania 34. And what a long night it was. Oh my god. I guess we can start off with the pre-show. So the first match was the Andre Battle Royal. We had pretty much all the superstars that that are never used. We had Ascension in there, Revival was in there, Titus Worldwide was in there, everybody was in there. Baron Corbin was in there, Mojo was in there. Like I said, everybody who hasn't been used in the past couple months was in there. It came down to Matt Hardy, Mojo Rawley, and Baron Corbin. And out of nowhere, Bray Wyatt showed up and helped Matt Hardy eliminate Baron Corbin and Mojo Rawley to win. So it looks like we are getting Woken Wyatt now. Mm-hmm. And it's about time that Bray Wyatt turned face. He needs it. He needs a new beginning, new start. I think all three of them are going to team up. Jeff Hardy, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy to form some kind of faction. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I was thinking about the same thing too, Jeff. Like, I know that my original pick is actually going to be Matt Hardy to be the one that's going to win the Dre Battle Royale for what he is doing. But it was pretty much a shocker that Bray Wyatt finally reemerged and started to align with Matt Hardy ever since I would say one of their not so great feuds, but hey, it's kind of like a rebirth for Bray Wyatt to have his character, redevelop.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually picked Baron Corbin to win it again for a second time in a row, but I was wrong. Yeah. So, all right. It was a decent match for being the first match on the kickoff show. So next we had the cruiserweight match, Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. I don't know what the hell Mustafa Ali was wearing. That was just some mask over his face, and he had some light pointing out.
Well, he kind of reminded me of one of the characters from the modern day Tron Legacy, or a bit of this techno group duo Daft Punk of all matters. But I think he's kind of reinventing his character, let alone the fact that before he was even a wrestler, he was part of the Chicago Police Department for about that. But I feel that with his ring gear, he's just wanted to be as much of the fighter that he can show. However, with that cruiserweight match, it kind of seems to be kind of your average standard match, like we seen that couple past 205 lives ago. I would say it would be right after Raw 25 with that whole Enzo Amore scandal going on, that Cedric and Mustafa did have a one outstanding match. Yeah. And with that cruiserweight, it sets it all.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good match, back and forth, Mm-hmm. At least there was some people in the crowd this time, not like last year's WrestleMania where you had nobody in there. Mm-hmm. Cedric Alexander did win the vacant cruiserweight championship, and I did pick Alexander to win. I think it's good for him. He needed it. He's been chasing it for a while. I mean, he and Enzo were supposed to feud for it at one time before the whole Enzo scandal. Other than that, there's not really much I can say about this match. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a decent match. It
was pretty predictable. I already knew that Cedric is going to be the one that's going to win the cruiserweight, especially he gave so many chances to be the number one contender. But we all knew that it's going to happen, and I feel that with that tournament, it set a more of a buffer for bringing in some of the talents from NXT coming into 205 Live. Now, I know that Roderick Strong did debut in 205 Live, but after what happened at TakeOver NOLA, him joining with Undisputed Era, so it seems that he's not going to be joining with 205 Live, but I know it's like a different subject.
Yeah. So we had the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. We had everybody from the women's division. We had some NXT girls there. Becky Lynch came out with her own music, and then you had everybody else come out to the WrestleMania theme, and then you had Bayley and Sasha come out to their theme songs. And it was a decent match. Oh, you had Beth Phoenix and Paige on commentary.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about this match. Like I said, it was just a decent match. You had Naomi win it.
Yeah, which is pretty unexpected so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, I had picked... Who did I pick? I had picked Bayley or Becky Lynch to win, and of course, I was wrong again. They should have gave it to Becky, you know. People like Becky, you know. They cheer for her when she comes out, you know. And Naomi had her big push last year at WrestleMania in Orlando when she won the women's title, you know. But those are my thoughts. So, what do you think?
Well, honestly, I thought I was expecting better for the Battle Royale. However, for the NXT star that appeared, like we have is Tanara Conti, Bianca Belair, one half the iconic duo Peyton Royce, Kairi Sane, Dakota Kai. You have it Kivani Dahlia, or I don't know how you pronounce it. One of the main moments that I like is that when Peyton did yell, "We are NXT," and that's like one of this pinnacle point where like these ladies are the future star. However, I know that we may gonna be having like call-ups like the day after Mania, or even after like the major big four pay-per-views of all matters. But overall with that match, my original pick was Ruby Riott because I've seen her matches has been evolving, especially on Fastlane against Charlotte Flair, even though it's just a filler match. But I thought she's going to be the one that's going to be winning it all, but sadly to say she didn't. And my second pick was actually going to be Sasha Banks because of the continuation feud with Bayley. Of course, I was wrong again. And my opinion about Naomi winning the women's battle royale, it seems really random. Like, I feel that like through these past couple SmackDown Live episodes that Naomi was lost in the shuffle due to the fact that she was involved with the whole situation with the Riot Squad while she was helping Charlotte and Becky, like teaming up against these stables. So I expect better than that, but overall it was just meh. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So on to the main card. We had, I think, like about 13 to 14 matches on the main card or something like that. So the first match was the triple threat match for the IC title. You had Finn Bálor versus The Miz versus Seth Rollins. You had Seth Rollins come out with some blue contacts, which was pretty cool. You had The Miz come out with The Miz Taraj, and they were wearing something like New Orleans style, you know, kind of design. And you had like the 3D things for The Miz. And you had Finn Bálor come out with the whole LGBTQ community or whatever, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
to say the Demon King is pretty much officially dead unless they do something later down the road. It was a good opening match. I enjoyed it. I did pick Rollins to win just for the fact that he can become a Grand Slam champion. So if you think about it now, all three members of the Shield are Grand Slam champions.
That's true.
So it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. They had good spots, you know. What's going to happen on Raw tomorrow? We'll see. Will we see continuation of Finn Bálor and Seth Rollins, you know, down the road?
Yeah.
I liked it. What were your thoughts?
I actually liked the opener of the match. However, what do you think of the 3D design from the Miz's entrance? Like, to me, it was pretty cool, but they should add a little bit more pyro to it, even though, like, later on in the evening, they did finally have pyro. Like, I'm so happy about it. But overall, like, the entrances were pretty solid, but I was kind of a little bit disappointed with Finn Balor's entrances. But don't get me wrong, because he is promoting the whole LGBT, like, for his t-shirts, say, Balor Club are for everybody. And regarding the whole Demon King situation, I know that it's completely gone because Finn is still, like, part of the Balor Club stable with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the OG BC. So I think that's kind of shy away from, like, you know, with his Demon King persona. But regarding the match so far, it's pretty decent. I mean, my original pick was Finn Balor because I honestly feel like he need to add his, he need to get a chance of a title, especially the fact that it's his first WrestleMania match, since last year because of his injury. And so, but honestly to say is, it was a pretty decent match so far. I'm not, well, you can say that I'm kind of like mixed feelings about Seth Rollins winning the IC title, but I guess it's just the whole booking situation, but nothing wrong with it. But I'm glad that he is finally the Grand Slam champion, especially joining with Roman and Dean Ambrose. But the question is, like, what's going to happen next with The Miz so far? Is he going to be chasing for the Universal title? Who knows?
Yeah, he could take time off too, you know. I mean, he just did have a baby. So, you know, he could maybe give him a month or two off and then have his rematch with Seth Rollins and then maybe have The Miz regain it so he could tie Jericho with the most IC title wins. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So the next match we had was for the SmackDown Women's Champion. We had Charlotte Flair. She came out to her dad's theme song, and then she came out to hers versus the undefeated Asuka. Asuka had her masks come down, the 3D masks, which was pretty cool. I've been telling this to everybody. I don't know what it is about Asuka lately, but I cannot stand her. I don't know if it was her undefeated streak or if it's her little dancing that she does in the ring or what it was, but I couldn't stand it. I picked Charlotte Flair to beat the streak, and I was right. It was a good match. We had some good spots in there. Charlotte did tap out Asuka with the
figure 8 lock with one arm. Yeah, like while she's holding like this. That was pretty.
It was a good match. I liked it.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, to say, Geoff, I think this is by far one of the best women's matches in a very long time. Let alone the fact that you saw like so many outstanding counters. Like you saw this one part where Charlotte did the moonsault, and then Asuka did counter Charlotte with the triangle chokehold submission hold. That was like pretty impressive for Charlotte and Asuka to battle out to see, like, just for that title, but also for the streak too. However, in my opinion, regarding the entrances, Charlotte's entrances is beyond outstanding. I feel that her ring gear is pretty much better than any of her past ring gear so far, because I don't know what it is, but I feel that it definitely matches all together for her persona. As far as for Asuka, though, my pick was actually Asuka because I feel that she's going to be the one that's going to carry the women's division on SmackDown Live. And especially, like, we'll see, like, so many competitors that could definitely challenge Asuka. But sadly to say is that, of course, Charlotte did win, but it's okay. I mean, she deserves it. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. I mean, you did mention about Becky Lynch, like, supposed to be having her moment at the first ever women's battle royal. I feel that there's probably going to be the next feud between Charlotte and Becky that we were all, like, you know, speculating for these past couple weeks. Yeah. But what do you think?
I think that could happen, you know, down the road. SummerSlam, they could have their feud. You could have Charlotte versus somebody coming up from the main roster, or not from the main roster, from NXT. I don't know who. Maybe that kind of duo comes out from NXT. I mean, that's all I have to really say about that match. Like I said, it was a good match. It had good spots. The next match, I believe, was the mixed tag team match.
It's actually the Fatal 4-Way match for the United States title, which I'm not happy about it at all. I mean, go ahead, take it away. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the mixed tag team match, and then we'll go to the U.S. title match. So we had Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey making her debut versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. First of all, Triple H and Stephanie had a good entrance coming down with the motorcycles again, you know. Kurt Angle came out with his music and his singlet and his gold medal. And then you had Ronda Rousey come out with Roddy's jacket, and she was wearing a kilt, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a good match. I was going in it with high expectations, and it did that for me. You know, Ronda did an awesome job in there. Yeah, you had a few glitches here and there, but altogether it was a good match. I mean, I liked the interaction between her and Triple H, you know, having almost Triple H tap out to her, you know, which was pretty cool. And then you had Stephanie almost tap out to Kurt Angle, which was pretty cool too. It was a good match. I liked it. I'm glad I did pick Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle to win. I mean, you can't have Ronda Rousey lose her first match, especially at WrestleMania.
Totally.
But what were your thoughts?
Well, I would say this is by far the match of the night. Because for a simple fact that you have is both Kurt and Ronda, Triple H and Stephanie duking it out against each other. Especially you have Ronda Rousey having her debut, wearing her tribute to the late Roddy Piper. It just seems to be very compelling and more innovating for Ronda to be like one of the most improved badass wrestler ever, even though she's coming from UFC to transition to wrestling. She did a phenomenal job. Although for a fact that her mic skills needs a little bit work, but her facial expression, her in-ring ability with her MMA background, that knocked it out of the park. Especially the fact that she did a lot of like submission counter to Stephanie, trying to get to that arm bar to just to break Stephanie's arm in half. That seems that's like one of the coolest moments ever. And regarding Kurt Angle and Triple H, both guys, they still got it. And as Michael Cole did mention, that this is Triple H's 22nd WrestleMania match. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
22nd WrestleMania in a row for Triple H. Like, I mean, we could see Triple H, like, going up to 30 WrestleMania matches for all that matters. But hey, that's just me. But anyway, I really like how the ending goes, that Ronda and Kurt definitely deserve to win. And that was, again, my original pick. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen next on Monday Night Raw. And especially the whole situation with Kurt Angle being the GM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm pretty much looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a crazy night tomorrow. Like you said, I'm gonna agree with you. I think it was the match of the night. I think it exceeded everybody's expectations going in. You know, everybody was dogging on Ronda because of her promo skills and stuff like that. She's not a mic person. I mean, in UFC, you really never talked on the mic. You just went in there, kicked butt, and then left. And that's exactly what she did yesterday night, I should say. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning, almost 2 o'clock for me. But I guess we could talk about the U.S. Championship match.
Oh my god!
So you had Randy Orton defend against Rusev,
Bobby Roode versus
and Ginger Mahal.
Or Ginger Mahal, I like to call it.
Yeah. Oh my god. So I think this was like an 8-minute match. The place was going crazy for Rusev. I think Rusev is like one of the most over guys right now in the company, and WWE doesn't see that. It was I'm gonna give it a decent match, but you had Jinder Mahal win the U.S. freaking title. I don't know
why. Like seriously, out of all these contenders, and first off, like I wanted to talk about the match. The match seems to be, I would say, lacking, especially the fact that the build-up for the U.S. title match was lackluster. Originally, we were supposed to be having Randy Orton defending against Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal. Of course, WWE had to be added Rusev to the mix because, as you guys know, like in recent reports that there was rumor that Rusev did ask WWE for a release because he is unhappy with the company. So that is like the main reason why WWE put Rusev in that Fatal 4-Way match. Now, my original pick was Randy Orton to retain, and then my second pick was Rusev. And the reason why for my first pick of Randy Orton, because Kyle and I were talking, and Kyle did point it out that for these last several months, like I would say last fall, there has been so many U.S. title changes that they keep the U.S. title like hot potating after hot potating. I thought like the SmackDown Tag Team title is much worse, or even the Raw Women's title. But now the U.S. title is losing their credibility because of this whole title changes going on. Like, seriously, can you have someone to hold that title for like X amount of time leading up to like what? 1, 2, or 3 basic pay-per-views leading up to like SummerSlam. And now you have is a title change where, of course, Jinder Mahal, which one of my least expected dislike wrestler, is now the U.S. champ. Like, I know this is going to be different because last year's title reign for, you know, the WWE title was bad. We all know what's going to happen. So now it's losing its credibility.
Yep. You're right. I had picked Rusev too to win the match. You know, I figured give this guy another push, you know, change his mind, you know, let him stay with the company. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Rusev. I'm sure we'll have now we get Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal again. Hopefully no more Punjabi prison match. Hopefully no more. And
what's going to happen with Bobby Roode? Like, this is like leaving a uncertainty for him.
You could maybe have Bobby Roode versus Rusev, or Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal for the title, you know, have their rematch again. I don't know. Like I said, that match just gave me a headache.
Yeah.
A couple of my friends picked Jinder Mahal to win, just out of pure luck.
I guess they don't want to, like, hinder the gender.
Yep.
Whatever.
Alright, so after the mixed tag team match, we had, I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
We have is the triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team title.
Okay. Another disappointing match. So you had the Usos against the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I could give 2 rat's asses about the Bludgeon Brothers. I really don't like them. I thought this was going to be a good match. New Day came out with midgets or little people in pancake costumes, dancing and throwing pancakes. I like the New Day, but I think the gimmick is dead. They just need to break up already. I think it's been 3 or 4 years they've been together. Drop it. Let them go their own separate ways. Usos, they are my favorite tag team right now of this generation, of this era that we're in. Them and the New Day always put off good matches. Now that you have the Bludgeon Brothers in there, I think it threw it off a little bit. The crowd was dead for this match. I think because you had Ronda Rousey and Triple H and all them beforehand, so you know this was like the bathroom break.
Yeah.
And so, like I was telling my friends, I was like, yeah, this match is pretty much dead. Next thing you know, the Bludgeon Brothers win. They show them holding the titles, and then they cut right to a commercial. I was like, yeah, that's how much they care about the Bludgeon Brothers winning the tag team titles.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was expecting another amazing match. Like, I'd rather have another match between the Usos and the New Day, because for these past couple pay-per-views, they give outstanding, top-quality matches. And of course, the Bludgeon Brother has to ruin it. And regarding the entrances, I gotta point out real quick that Xavier Woods did perform the Green Ranger call. If you guys remember Power Rangers, when of course, Green Ranger, played by, of course, Jason David Frank, started playing with his, like, I think his sword or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what Xavier Woods playing with Francesca number 2 or 3, or I don't know. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I do agree with you, Geoff, that the New Day needs to break up right away, because I know Kofi is the only New Day member that has been in WWE for much longer, especially as a single competitor. He did pretty well before joining the New Day. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they were the longest reigning tag team champion, but now it's now the time that they need to go into their separate ways once and for all. And regarding the Usos, I mean, they're still one of the best tag team all around, of course. And I feel like they need to continue with the feud with the Bludgeon Brothers. I mean, that match was kind of threw me off completely. And you saw, like, when the Bludgeon Brothers came out, there was no crowd reaction at all. And during the match,
I could see the Authors of Pain coming up from NXT and feuding with the Bludgeon Brothers, and just, like, completely manhandling them, and then let them start the feud, you know?
Yeah, that was my thought exactly, too, since, like, the AOP lost the triple threat match for the NXT tag team title. Why not have them, like, called up to SmackDown Live? But overall, very disappointed. Bludgeon Brothers, the tag team champion. But hey, I mean, Luke Harper is the 2-time tag team champion than Eric Rowan. Yep.
True, very true. This was my bathroom break match, by the way. I was like, yeah, I'm going to the bathroom. I don't really care about this match. Yeah. All right, so next we had another tag team match.
Next up is the Cena versus the situation.
Thank you for, like I said, it's been a long day.
Yeah, I got some notes, that's why.
All right, so during the show we had Cena sitting out with the audience, chilling with the audience, drinking a beer. Was it non-alcoholic? Who knows?
It looked like apple juice to me.
Okay, maybe apple juice. So then you had a ref come out earlier on the show, you know, telling Cena he's here. You saw Cena jump the barricade like a crazed fan running up the ramp. And then later on, after the tag team match, we had John Cena come out with his music, and the lights went out. And next thing you know, you see Elias walk out playing his guitar. So Elias had his WrestleMania moment, if you will. And Elias is like, "Well, this wasn't what you were expecting, was it, John?" And then John was all frustrated, and Elias was playing down the ring. Elias said, "Just go sit down." Cena went back into the crowd, and then Elias was talking more smack. Cena went back in the ring, beat up Elias, and they hit Cena's music. He started walking up the ramp, and next thing you know, the lights went out. And I think the gong hit first, and then they showed it back to the ring with Undertaker's ring gear, and the lightning bolt hit, and it disappeared, and you hear Undertaker's music. And I guess somehow John walked back down to the ring, and then Undertaker came out and pretty much squashed John Cena in less than 3 minutes, I believe. Cena got no offense and was over. He was about to do the 5-neck shuffle. Undertaker stood up, chokeslammed him, tombstoned him, and that was 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Undertaker got his redemption from last year. I know it was a short match because Undertaker really can't work a long match anymore. I'm glad Undertaker showed up, whether it was the American Badass or the Dead Man. I enjoyed it. It was a good match. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a decent squash match for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, well, first things first, that we were thought that we're gonna have Cena versus Taker, but then of course you have Elias trolling us for having his Elias WrestleMania moment to perform, and then you saw like Cena did attack Elias and then put him over, of course, and then the surprise appearance with Undertaker. And by the way, 2 minutes and 46 seconds for the match, but I did use the stopwatch on my phone to see like how many minutes Taker can come to the ramp, to the ring, and all the above before the match start. It lasted like almost 4 minutes so far.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see Undertaker again. I thought like last year is gonna be his final WrestleMania, but it's great to see him back, and that kind of makes me so happy. And I can understand that it was like a short match because Undertaker is like still like able to perform how he is used to be, but he did still got it no matter what. And so it's a pretty decent squash match per se, but hopefully we'll see what's going to happen with the future of John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. He'll probably do some more movies again and be gone for a couple more months and then come back. I don't know. I'm tired of John Cena.
We all do.
So next we had the tag team match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon and the return of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan did come out to a big pop. Everybody, the whole entire arena was doing the yes chants. Before the match even started, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out from behind to attack Shane and Daniel Bryan, and it looked like Daniel Bryan was hurt after the powerbomb on the apron. It was a good match, you know. Shane needs to work on his punches. Oh my god, that was just horrible.
I mean, I feel that Shane did botch a couple of his moves, especially with the punt kick. Like, you can see it clearly that he did botched it, and especially with that punches too. Don't you agree, Geoff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you had Shane pretty much fight by himself, like a 2-on-1 handicap match for a while, while Daniel Bryan was still out there. And Shane was getting pinned, I believe, and Daniel Bryan came in and broke up the pinfall. And then he got the hot tag in, and then everybody was cheering the yes cheers again, you know. And Daniel Bryan got all his moves in. He did the yes kicks. He did the running knee, and then he put the yes lock on Sami Zayn and got the win for Shane and himself. So Owens and Zayn are still fired. They're probably going to Raw, which I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody was expecting a heel turn from Shane, but I was like, he's too hurt to turn on. You know, he was hurt. You know, exactly. So they weren't going to turn Daniel Bryan heel, not in New Orleans.
Like I know that Shane is still fighting his recent infection. But he did put up one hell of a fight so far. Yeah, and especially seeing Daniel Bryan, like, being in the ring and, like, showing his in-ring ability, that kind of puts a smile off my face. However, with the match, it's pretty solid. It's not good, it's not bad, but it's pretty good. But more of a feel-good moment for that.
Yeah.
And of course, like, with Kevin and Sami being fired and possibly going to Raw, I think it's like a good move because think of it this way. The tag team division for Raw is still like lacking going on. I mean, the only strong tag team I could think of is the Bar and Bálor Club. That's it. And the rest are like jobbers.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Daniel looked pretty good, you know. It looked like he hadn't lost his step in almost 3 years, you know. He was in good shape. Shane, when he did Coast to Coast, that was pretty I mean, he still got that pretty
Yep.
much down. Like his air punches and his kicks, you can tell that he's like, you got like that much distance between the two. So, but all in all, it was a good match. You know, I'm glad Daniel's back.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. Maybe will we see Bryan versus or AJ Styles down the road? You know, Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura down the road. We'll get to it.
Yep.
So next we had, I believe it was the Raw Women's title match.
Yes.
Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I had Alexa as to retain the title, and then Carmella cashed in, but Carmella's a stupid idiot for not cashing in. So it was a decent match. I'm glad Nia Jax won. You know, it looked like Alexa was gonna win. You know, she had poked her in the eye and did all the dirty heel tricks.
Oh, yeah.
And then Nia came back, you know, and then she did the Super Samoan drop off the second rope, and she got her feel good moment.
Yes.
So I'm glad for Nia Jax that she won. You know, I think it's about time, well deserved. It was a decent match. I enjoyed it. What were your thoughts?
Well, I actually pretty enjoyed it, even though it's just like one of your standard matches. However, Alexa Bliss is one of my favorite in-ring competitor, but I picked Nia Jax because I feel like there's going to be like more of a competition going on, and she deserves to have a title ever since she debuted to the main roster or in NXT in general. However, I'm really impressed with the entrances, especially you have is Alexa Bliss coming down from a pedestal with her goddess in-ring gear. And especially you have a surprising fact that Mickie James joined her. Like, that was pretty random, don't you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Nia Jax coming out in her in-ring gear, and I just wanted to state it to Aaron Riff because he did mention on NoDQ.com live that it made me laugh that he said that Nia Jax is wearing the Michael Jackson circa 1995 in-ring gear. I'm sorry.
It did look like that.
I'm like still laughing it off, but overall it looks good on her anyway. But one of the highlights that really impressed me is that right before the bell rang, Nia immediately manhandling Mickie James. Like, you see her like giving her the Samoa drop outside of the ring. How she's like striking her so hard right before the bell rang for that match.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm really impressed with Alexa giving her best with like trying to fight off Nia. Especially she did 2 snap DDT finisher, but of course Nia did kicked out. And I would point out is that Alexa Bliss did a really impressive twist of Bliss off the ring, landing on Nia, and that was like a biggest holy shit moment ever. So I really like the match so far. I wish that Carmella should have cashed in right away because it would have been like an icing of a cake. But I feel that because it was coming off from like the Shane and Daniel versus Kevin and Sammy's match, that was like one of another like cooler type of matches per se. But I'm really glad that Nia won, and she definitely deserved the title. And I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I am too. It's gonna, like we said before, it's gonna be an usually the Raw after WrestleManias are a pretty interesting Raw. So next we had the Dream Match.
Oh yeah.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title. Now everybody was comparing it to the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match back a couple years ago. I never saw it, but I might have to go back and watch it here just to compare it now. I thought it was a decent match. I mean, they have good chemistry in the ring. It seemed kind of slow though, to be honest. Really, really slow. You know, they had their good spots. AJ did his 450, but that got countered. Nakamura, you know, with all his knee strikes and stuff like that. And AJ was working on Nakamura's knee. He had him in the calf crusher for a little bit here and there. And then you had AJ beat Nakamura with the Styles Clash. And then afterwards, you know, they had a nice moment. They were hugging, you know, everybody was chanting and yelling, and they were all happy and stuff like that. And then Nakamura, that was really weird. He went on one knee. It looked like he was about to propose to AJ Styles with the WWE title. Right? And next thing you know, you had Nakamura give a low blow to AJ Styles and have Nakamura turn heel. Now, will this help Nakamura in the long run now that he's a heel? Or do you think people are still going to cheer for him since he has that music? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I mean, I like Nakamura, but hopefully the heel turn will help him. But it was funny because it seemed like people were cheering when he did turn heel, but then all of a sudden you just heard boos out of nowhere. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a good match, though. I thought it was okay. What were your thoughts?
Well, I did watch the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match a couple weeks ago. I did actually watch it twice. Comparing it back then till now, I feel that the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match is pretty much better than their dream match for the title. Especially the fact that at the time you have his AJ Styles still being part of the Bullet Club, where Shinsuke was the top babyface talent in New Japan. Now, I know it was for the IWGP Intercontinental title, which of course, I think it was AJ retaining. I'm not 100% sure. I have to rewatch it again. It's been a while now. I feel that their chemistry is still highly strong. But the execution-wise, I feel it's kind of wear down. Especially with the fact that both Shinsuke and AJ are trying to slow down with their in-ring ability, what they are used to. We've seen back when AJ was in Impact Wrestling and Shinsuke was in New Japan so far. Overall, it's not the best. It's not the worst. It's a pretty decent match. And my original pick was Shinsuke Nakamura to be the new WWE champion, but I'm happy that AJ did retain the title because there's going to be a lot of opportunity going on for that. Yep. However, I was pretty speechless when Shinsuke turned heel after he gave that low blow to AJ. My mouth was dropped. So, I don't know what to say that I immediately call my fiance and tell him what the hell is going on because he was watching WrestleMania also. And so I know it was about time that Shinsuke was about to turn heel, but I didn't know it was going to be at Mania. I was hoping that he's going to turn heel around after Survivor Series. Just throwing it out there. But so far, this is going to be an interesting feud going on with Shinsuke. Now that we're going to have a lot of baby faces going to be competing against Shinsuke. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. So next we had the Bar versus Braun Strowman and a mystery partner for the Raw Tag Team titles. You had the Bar come out on a Mardi Gras float. They were throwing beads in the crowd, playing when the Saints come marching in. Mm-hmm. Then they came out to their theme song, and then Braun Strowman just came out. Nothing really exciting about Strowman's entrance. He did push the float down into the entranceway, which is typical of Braun Strowman. Then they was doing the introductions, and Braun was like, I wanted you guys to wait till WrestleMania to tell you who my partner was. And then he went to the crowd and said, it's going to be one of you guys. And he walked around the crowd for a little bit. And then he picked some random kid, Nicholas, which is... for a second there,
oh my God.
For a second there, I thought it was a girl. But then I had to look at it. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's a boy just with long hair. I picked Braun Strowman to win, obviously, because no matter who his partner was, Braun was going to win the titles. I mean, it was an okay match, I guess, The Nicholas, he just looked like he was scared out of his pants just standing there on the ring.
Oh my god, right?
It was crazy, but like I said, it was an okay match.
Yeah.
I figured Braun was gonna win. I mean, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, honestly, I was kind of a little disappointed when the fact that Braun Strowman did pick a random person, or should I say a random kid, Nicholas, to the crowd. Like, my pick was Braun Strowman by himself, because I feel that with Braun Strowman, he can be the Raw Tag Team Champion and trying to compete against two other people. But I think that would be like the logical reason WWE is doing with the whole Nicholas situation. However, while I was watching the No DQ live video, I was like scrolling through Facebook and I saw there's an article that they, from Body Slam, that they did reveal who is that Nicholas kid turned out to be. And it's none other than WWE referee John Cone.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nicholas Cone is the son of the ref John Cone, of course. Overall, pretty decent match, and again, this is another like water cooler match coming from AJ versus Shin, and especially Shinsuke heel turn.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty interesting, but I feel bad for Nicholas so far. Like, I don't know what he got into. But hey, at least he did break Rene Dupree's record for being the youngest tag team champion of all time in WWE, but
yep, very true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next with the whole situation with the tag team. I know that we did mention that Kevin and Sam are going to be coming to the Raw brand as a tag team, and probably we're going to see another new tag team coming from NXT. Like, I'm thinking Sanity coming into the main roster, or possibly AOP, but who knows what's going to happen. And I feel that for tomorrow, they're probably going to, Braun and Nicholas might drop the title, which I hope not, or probably they're going to bring out who's going to be Nicholas' replacement. But we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah,
true. Very true. All right, so on to the main event of the evening. We had Roman Reigns challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. I figured the match was going to go this way. You know, it was pretty much one-sided with Brock Lesnar doing his German suplexes and his F5s. I think he hit like 4 F5s before he hit the final one on Roman Reigns. And before that, Lesnar had taken off his gloves and everything. He pretty much elbowed Roman Reigns to death, and Roman Reigns was bleeding profusely. Oh my god! He looked like Ric Flair when he was bleeding.
Oh yeah,
literally his blood. I was like, holy crap! Roman Reigns, you know, he got his Superman punches in. They did fight on the outside. Lesnar did F5 him. Reigns through a table. Then the final F5. Lesnar did pin Reigns for the 1, 2, 3, and so we'll see what goes on with Brock Lesnar tomorrow. I mean, I know he's supposed to be going back to UFC soon, so I don't know if he's going to drop the title, I guess, later on today when Raw is on, or if he's going to stay champion for another whole freaking year, because I hope not, because to be honest, I'm really frustrated with Brock Lesnar. I don't like him being a part-timer anymore. It's just so freaking frustrating. Yeah. But altogether, it was a brutal match. That's all I'm going to say. It was brutal, and that's what everybody wanted. It was a brutal match. Yeah. They did chant, "This is awful," during the match, and they chanted CM Punk. They chanted all sorts of things. Yeah. They booed it. They did everything they possibly could do. But, you know, it is what it is. Lesnar, like I said, Lesnar is going to be champ probably for a whole another year before he's done. So, yeah. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I don't give a dang about that main event match, especially the only thing I was focusing on is just the crowd reaction, because there was so many heat going on. Like, CM Punk chant, Johnny Wrestling chant, this is BS or BS chant, you name it. That's how, like, you know, these crowds are so far. And I honestly feel like I lost so many count to how many F5s Brock Lesnar did and how many spears that Roman did too. But
yeah, I think, like I said, I think it was like 5 F5s, and I think Roman hit like, I think 2 or 3 spears on him.
Yeah,
but
exactly. I don't know. But anywho, my pick was Roman to win. Of course, it's like a WWE logic, even though I don't want to. But I'm glad that Brock Lesnar did retain the title. But he needs to drop the title afterwards. Like, we just need a predominant full-time WWE employee that can secure the spot, because the Universal title, it's already lost its credibility. Like,
yeah.
I just can't anymore with that. But overall, it was a pretty alright match. It's not the greatest, but it was in a okay scale to it. But overall, it was like pretty boring. That's all I can say.
So that was it for WrestleMania. We had 7 hours of it. My God.
So long.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah. Like I said, the match of the night, I think, was, Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Seth McMahon. The worst match of the night, I hate to say it, but I think the triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
Well,
that was a disappointment for me.
Yeah. For my end, because honestly, I feel that WrestleMania, it was a little better compared to last year's WrestleMania. But I feel that some of the matches and the build-up has kind of like ruined my excitement for Mania. I would say my favorite, the match of the night, I would have to go with 2. One of them would be, of course, the mixed tag team match. And the other one would be Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, because of that beautiful counter, especially with their in-ring ability. My worst match of all time would have to be the Fatal 4-Way match of the United States Champion. Like I said, I dislike Jinder Mahal. The match was so standard. And the U.S. title is still hot potatoing. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I agree with you. So altogether, I can give this, I'll give WrestleMania like a solid B. Altogether, I'll give it a solid B. I'll be generous.
Okay. Well, based on the title changes, based on the storyline, based on the chemistry with each of the wrestlers, especially we had some good quality matches, I would give WrestleMania, I would give it a C+. Okay. So just a C+, and that's it. And of course, for NXT TakeOver for My Little Grey, I give it an A+. I mean, it's still better than WrestleMania.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, did you have any other thoughts on WrestleMania?
Well, I'm actually going to be looking forward to what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. Especially, I'm looking forward to if there's going to be a possible superstar shakeups and call-ups from NXT stars, or maybe returns. I know it sucks that we didn't see Carmella cashing in her Miss Money in a Bank briefcase. I know there's no Samoa Joe. I mean, did Samoa Joe ever had a WrestleMania match since his debut?
Nope.
Like, seriously?
Because I think last year, I think he was hurt too before WrestleMania, and now he got hurt this year too, which is just ridiculous.
It's a damn.
And we could see Big Cass coming back. You know, we could see Jeff Hardy coming back finally.
Yep.
Like you said, some NXT call-up. We might see some re-debuts. Bobby Lashley. I don't really have anything else to say about WrestleMania. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a B+, just to be generous.
Yeah, and it's a C+ for me. Yeah.
C plus for you. Yeah. Next year's WrestleMania is gonna be at MetLife Stadium, so a bunch of us we're probably gonna go up there because we live like maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from MetLife Stadium, so we're gonna do that.
That's awesome.
All right, so I guess we can get our plugs in, and then we can end this shindig. So I'll let you start.
All right, so you can follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel at simply_C_OK. And if you guys wanted to see my results / thoughts on NXT TakeOver NOLA, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And that's it.
All right. And you guys can follow me at Jeffrey Hilton on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe I'll start one down the road. Who knows? But and that's all for me. And we will see you guys next time.
Cheers.